Alrighty, cool. Well, thank you so much, Rory, for the introduction there. And hello, everyone. So good to see so many people in the chat today for Open Data Hack, which I'm super excited about. So I will just sort myself out a bit. And here we go. Right, here's my slides. Okay, so I'm Ally, and I'm super excited today to be sharing what I think is a really valuable and I believe super impactful project that I've been working on for the past several months called Lilypad. So today's agenda first, what's Lilypad? What is our vision for Lilypad? And I'll quickly chat about some technicals and whys maybe before diving straight into a live demo of how you can use Lilypad to run AI and ML jobs, which, is what I'm all excited about. And it's not just, hype, but anyway, moving on. I then want to chat about some potential applications of Lilypad and maybe some project ideas for the hack as well. And by the way, I'm happy to take questions throughout the presentation, or I can answer them at the end. I may not see them, so just in case I don't see your question, please ask me again at the end as well. I'll try and save some time for that. Firstly, though, what is this Lilypad thing? Well, let's head on over to Giverny in France. No, wait, that's not right. We're not going to Monet's castle. With Lilypad, what we want to do is we want to build a trustless, distributed compute network that enables truly internet-scale data processing, AI, ML, and other arbitrary computation to be callable from smart contracts with those amazing blockchain guarantees that we get. So as well as like being able to do these arbitrary computation jobs, such as AI and ML inference and training, we want to be able to unleash the idle processing power in both the Filecoin network and in like a lot of crypto networks to enable this new wave of data and compute economies in Web3. So we believe projects like Lilypad are going to be essential infrastructure for Web3 and the next frontier in development. And I am a bit biased, but I really think this is true, not just because you can run AI and ML on them, though that's a cool reason, but also because computation is really one of the three core components of the modern internet. And so for a truly internet scale decentralized internet, we're going to need a decentralized compute platform that matches this kind of scale. And it's going to be necessary for Web3 to be able to create these like scalable decentralized applications that can take over the world, which is what, we kind of we all hope for, so we can get rid of some of this, the centralized problems we're getting with traditional technology. So much like Filecoin, so Lilypad was into the technicals, Lilypad was built leveraging some of the key components of the Backyard project. For those of you might have heard of it, it's an arbitrary computation project, which was spearheaded by David Aronchik. And it still exists as an open source project. We actually live in the back of our Slack now as well. So what we did, though, is we want to combine this open source peer-to-peer Backyard network nodes with on-chain guarantees and crypto economic incentive models. So kind of like Filecoin is to IPFS, Lilypad is to Backyard. It's bringing these incentives and guarantees to the network. So currently we have a testnet, which is awesome. It's called the Lilypad Lalachooser testnet. I think that's an owl, but someone's probably going to correct me. When I looked up Lalachooser, actually, it was funny. Our chief engineer called it Lalachooser. Apparently, it's a kids program in the UK, and I looked it up, and it was a story about a witch who haunts people who had died and is now haunting children. So I don't know which one it is, but anyway, this is what we've called it. It's called the Lalachooser testnet. It's built on Go Ethereum, and it allows for arbitrary untrusted nodes to join the networks and for users to run compute jobs via these Lilypad modules. So we've loosely based this testnet consensus on a paper called Modicum as well, which uses a mediator approach, and you can kind of read more about this in our docs if you're interested in the game theory behind it. We've got a light paper in our docs as well as like some research documentation in there that really delves into the game theory behind what we're doing, if that's of interest to you. So the exciting thing, though, is that Lilypad can be run from both a command line interface and also from a smart contract. The ability to perform these off-chain decentralized compute over data from smart contracts really opens the door to a multitude of possible applications, as I was kind of inferring a little bit earlier in the talk as well, and both for Web3 and for traditional technology, I think. So we believe projects like this are essential architecture and can, unlock things like inference AI and ML training jobs, which is what we have started out with because, they're fun. And also, there's so much you can do with them as well. So they're really kind of changing how we operate with things. So we can invoke and support generic ZK computations, which is definitely of interest in the current Web3 space. I know there's a lot of stuff happening around ZK compute networks as well. So cross-chain interoperability to complement bridge protocols is possible. We could utilize inbuilt storage on IPFS. There's federated learning consensus that could be done eventually. IoT and sensor data integrations. For example, I'd love to see Weather XM, if any of you have heard of that. It's kind of a weather station you can set up anyway. A really cool project. I encourage you to look that up. It could be helpful for their data. So it could provide a platform for digital twins, supply chain tracking and analysis, and ETL and data prep jobs as well. But let's get started with Lilypad. Let's go to the fun part. So to get started with the Lilypad, all you really need to do is to add the Lilypad network, the Lilypad network, to MetaMask. Now, we've named our currency Lilith, because some of you might get the joke of when I looked up Lilypad there, I decided to call the symbol Lilith and just stick with the whole theme. Anyway, quite easy. Anyone that's played in the Web3 space probably knows how to add a new network to Lilypad. So there it is. The next thing you need to do is get some testnet funds. So you just go to testnet.lilypad network. I've got a typo there. Sorry about that. Lilypad network it is .org, and get some testnet funds for your wallet. Now let's have a look at playing around with the CLI. So a CLI is a command line interface, which looks exactly like this. Here's one I prepared earlier just for you guys. So this is the CLI, and it's really simple to download the Lilypad interface. You can just run this curl command, one line of code, and you'll have Lilypad up and running in your terminal, which is pretty cool. The next thing you do need to do, though, is because Lilypad does run on a blockchain network, you are going to need to give this local command line your wallet private key so that it can approve transactions for you. So I've already done that in my CLI interface here, so I'm not going to do that again. And by the way, like, that doesn't get displayed to anyone else. No one else can see your private key. You're simply running it on your local network. So you're not giving it away to anyone else. Now, we've decided that our first module in Lilypad, and by the way, modules on Lilypad are kind of job specs. So each module runs a deterministic Lilypad job. And they're deterministic because in a compute network like this, you need to be able to prove that the nodes, for example, the supply side nodes, are doing their job right and not just saying, yes, we've run the job, please give me the money for running that job. So each module in Lilypad is therefore currently deterministic, because if they get spot checked, if someone goes, I don't think that's the right, I don't think that's the right compute answer, we need to be able to check that. And we do that determinism, just in case you're interested in Lilypad, means that the output hash, so the CID output hash, is the same given the same inputs for a job. So it doesn't matter which way you get to that output hash, as long as the output hash is the same. So that was a little background on determinism in Lilypad as well. So anyway, our first module that we decided to do is the Run Hello Cow World module. So maybe what should we ask this to do? So pretty easy. I've already installed Lilypad. There we go. That's actually a good one to say. Lilypad run cowsave version 0.0.1, just in case we decide to update these in futures. And I'm going to run hello open data hackers. Now this will submit this job to the Lilypad network. So it loaded the private key, registered a job creator. It added a mediator because each job is going to have a mediator in case this job gets checked. So a mediator is like a ticket inspector, basically. The chances.
Ali, just to let you know, we can only see your slide. I don't know if you're trying to show
I am
something over the
showing a
top.
different. Thank you for saying
No
that.
problem.
I will. Yes, I will. Happy to share all the resources after this as well. Let me see if I can. Okay. Okay, maybe I needed to go with entire screen. Thanks for letting me know there.
No
there you go. Well, that's a lot more helpful. Sorry, guys. So basically, I've run the first job, which is this Cowsay job. Our engineers have a sense of humor. Clearly, this was our first module. So Lilypad run Cowsay. I've given it the prompt, hello, open data hackers. And you'll see that it fetches these results, and these results are an IPFS CID, basically, which you can then open up in your terminal, which I've done here. So if you like, I can verify that this is the same thing by typing this in for you. 1 second. Because they're deterministic, it'll be exactly the same, but I will show you that working. Now, this is Brave browser, which means I can just do IPFS : and this end CID here, and and Brave browser automatically knows that this is an IPFS CID, which is another cool thing about Brave browser if you're not already using it. And then I can go to standard out here, and here we are. Hello, open data hackers. That's the result of that job. So there we go. Cool. Righto. Let's see if my screen. Yay, it moves now. Awesome. Cowsay. Matthias, if you want to have a look at the code behind this module, I'd recommend having a look at the docs. I haven't got it in here because it's quite long, but the docs do have the entire module in there, and also resources on how to make your own modules if you wanted to make your own module. So you can definitely go ahead and have a look at that in the docs. All right, what's next? Now, Cowsay is fun and all, but it's probably not really going to do much for you. I guess you could use it for slides occasionally. I'm not even sure what you would use it for, to be honest. It's just a bit of fun, proves the network is working. Oh, by the way, of course, because this is a two-sided marketplace, you can also run your own node and get paid for jobs. Currently, you're only going to get paid Lilith, but if you want to run your own node, you can do that. You can also run your own mediator. So if you don't trust our mediator, which is what's getting used by default in this network, you can go ahead and run your own mediator as well. All right, there is, of course, more Lilypad modules. So one of the cool ones is, of course, Stable Diffusion, and we're running SDXL 0.9 here. So let's go ahead and run this SDXL. Actually, does someone want to give me a prompt for what I should put in? What image should we make for this one? What do you reckon, Rory? Got any ideas on the text to image generator?
I see some recommendations in the chat, so I see some people typing.
Ally holding the world on her shoulders. I don't know if it's going to know who I am, so maybe we'll go with turtle holding the world on its shoulders. Let's go with that. I don't know why a turtle, but there you go. Thanks for the prompt. And whoops, I haven't finished the quote or something there, so I'm just gonna go ahead and run that. A cute cat would have been good as well. Next time. Or you can try it yourself, actually, now that you know how to run it. So I do have a few from earlier. I was playing around with it, an astronaut riding a unicorn, and here's an example of the output from that astronaut riding a unicorn. You have to change the seed if you want to get a different image, because like I said before, it's deterministic. So if you only use it's using GPUs in the background. So the idea is that, so Ali just asked the question, can you use GPU or CPU only? It does need GPUs for Stable Diffusion images. So let me just, while that's running, here we go, it's ready. Beautiful. Now, sometimes IPFS does take a while to propagate, so you might have to wait a little bit for this image to actually come up. But let's take a look. Yeah. Oh, and that was pretty quick, actually. So it will come up in the outputs folder here. Image 0. Let's see what this turtle holding the world on its shoulder. That's great. I love it. I'm going to see if I can post this CID in the chat here, actually, so you all could, verify it yourselves as well. There we go. If I give the same prompt again, Jamaru, you are jumping ahead. You know exactly where I'm going. If I gave it the exact same prompt, because modules are deterministic, you will get the exact same image. So you could give a quiz for this and go, go and run this prompt, and you could prove if someone had actually done that, because you would get the same image back. Now, if you do want to get a different image back, because that's definitely something that you might want to do, you can add in the seed, which here we go. I'm just doing here. Might just clear this. Whoops. Let me just clear the screen. It's getting a bit messy there. So here I'm running Lilypad SDXL 0.9, and then I'm giving as a JSON input the prompt, a unicorn riding an astronaut, or let's go, a turtle holding the world on its shoulders, was it? Or a cute cat. Let's do a cute. No, let's do a turtle holding the world on its shoulders. Which is a long queue, but great one. Now, I would have to give it a different seed, and the default seed is 0. So if I give it a different seed, it can be any number, then you will get a different image here. And again, I don't know why I didn't finish the quotes or something, but there we go. So yeah, this is free image generation with SDXL. Oops, I don't know what happened there. I must have put the wrong. Clearly, whoopsies. Sorry, something went wrong there with my input. Run SDXL 0.9. That doesn't look right. I think I've definitely done something wrong. Tell you what, I'm just going to see if I can, let's have a look at what my slides say, because I actually do have this on the slide. So yeah, same prompt, same image. You've got to change the seed. So run SDX. Oh, it is version 0.9. That's interesting. I feel like that's wrong. Nope, that's correct. Okay. This should definitely work. I don't know why it's not. I think I've just got something wrong with my quotes in here. Oops. Maybe missing a quote. How do my quotes look? Do they look all right? We'll try it again. Prompt. Let's go with the unicorn riding an astronaut, see what happens. Yeah, that one went through better. So anyway, we won't wait for that to finish. It could take a while again. But yes, basically change the seed. Great question. All right, moving on. Where are we? So yeah, super fun. By the way, I've been using this for we put out a blog report every week on what we're up to with Lilypad, which is at blog.lilypadnetwork.org. And I've been using this to generate our header image, which is great. So, eventually I'm going to see if I can, I think Stability AI is releasing a new version of Stable Diffusion, which is going to include the ability to add words to your image and things like that. So as soon as that's out, we'll definitely add that to Lilypad and things like that as well. So it's going to get better and better. I can't wait. So the next thing that we've done with Lilypad is introduce fine tuning. And really, this is kind of a really, really cool feature for Lilypad, because not only are you you're training new models on the Lilypad network, basically. So for those of you that might not know what LoRa fine tuning is, you can have a look at the doc. I've got a whole spiel on what it basically does. But what it means is, instead of having to train a whole model on all these, hundreds of compute nodes and servers like Google or the, Stability AI or these big people producing these models need to do, instead you can just tweak the parameters a little bit by adding your own input data, and you can do this with LLMs as well, not just images. And it comes out with a model attuned to your specific data set. So, for example, if I put a whole zip file of Claude Monet artworks into this, and this is broken at the moment, I would love to show it to you, but we broke it today of all times, and now we need to fix it. So apologies for that. It'll be running in the next day or two. The engineers are on it. But you will be able to use this for the rest of the hackathon. But this is really cool because you can just give it a IPFS CID of, say, a zip folder of Claude Monet's artworks, which I did upload and zip somewhere, actually. I don't know where it is now. I've been playing with unicorns and astronauts too much, obviously. Anyway, so it's in the docs. You can play around with it yourself when this is up and running. And it will attune this Stable Diffusion model to output images in the style of Claude Monet artworks, basically, which is pretty awesome. And then so you'll use that fine-tuned model by then running Lilypad again with LoRa inference instead of LoRa training, and using the CID result from the one before with whatever prompt you want. And this should come out with an astronaut riding a unicorn, but in the style of Claude Monet, for example, which is pretty awesome. And that'll be up soon. We've also got a Filecoin data prep module. So for those of you that might be deeply involved with the Filecoin network, you might know how difficult it can be, or not difficult, challenging it can be to sometimes onboard large amounts of data onto the network. So we created a Filecoin data prep module, which basically chunks data from an S3 bucket, an Amazon S3 bucket, and turns it into a car, which is what's needed to then upload it to the Filecoin network. So that's another module that we've got out there as well. So that's just trying from a CLI. So obviously you can also use Lilypad from a smart contract. So I do have Remix set up here and hopefully still running, because sometimes Remix likes to freeze on you and you just don't know when. So let's just check if it's running or not, which is sometimes hard to do. Let's check with this one. Yep, looks like it's still all up and running. Great. So there is both an SDX caller client contract and an example client contract in the GitHub repo. And these are both in the docs as well. So you can go ahead and just like click a link in the docs. It'll open it in Remix for you and you can play around with it yourself. But you can call Lilypad from a smart contract deployed on the Lala Chooser network. So just make sure that you are on the Lilypad Lala Chooser network. And on Remix, you've got your injected provider MetaMask on to make sure that you're interacting with that network. You can then go ahead and deploy this contract. So basically all it is it interacts. I actually have some, yeah, let's see. Yeah. So you connect your, whoops, what happened there? Sorry, guys. So you connect your client contract, which is this contract that your smart contract that you're writing for whatever purpose you have for it, to the Lilypad contract, which is in this it's called Modicum contract at the moment because we based our code base off a paper called Modicum. And then this just connects to it. So here I pass in the Modicum contract address, which is also in the docs, and it's also in this example client just to make it easier. So when you're deploying it, you would just deploy it. You would deploy this contract with a constructor of the Modicum contract here so that you can connect to it. And then all you need is a receive job results function implemented in order to get the job results back from the Modicum contract. And you can run your SDXL Stable Diffusion function to get a Stable Diffusion image from a prompt. So you can imagine if you had like a front end app and just an input, then you could go ahead and hit this backend client contract with run SDXL and return that image to the user in your front end, for example. So I can show you that working as well. Let's just go to SDXX caller here. Well, I've got a prompt, more rainbow unicorns and astronauts. So I'll just show you here that we're up to job ID 330. I'm going to transact with this one because I haven't actually run this command before. You need to send it to Lilith. That's how much every job is on the Lilypad network at the moment. So go ahead and make sure that you have that in your value up here in Remix to Ether. Otherwise, you'll get an error saying that it didn't work. And then we are just going to need to wait for those results to come back. So the transaction might have finished, but we need to wait for a node to run this job and then return those results. So basically, we're looking for this job result ID to change to a new number. And then we'll know that. Yeah, am I over time? What's going on?
I hate to interrupt you. We do just have a minute or two left just to let you know.
Awesome. Okay, no problem. Let me just quickly check out what I did have left on the slides and see if there's anything specifically that people would need to know. So running SDXL on, so hanging on Lilypad. There's some, I'll hand out these slides for later because I'm obviously way over time. Sorry about that. There's some great ideas in here on what you could use Lilypad for, and we'd love to see, some more dApps that leverage some of these AI and ML inference models that we're providing on Lilypad. You could create a JavaScript wrapper for the Lilypad CLI that would make it really easy for other devs in future, and we'd love to see something like that if you're interested in that kind of work. You can write your own Lilypad module. They'll warn you that kind of is hard at the moment. So just a warning that if you do go down that route, you might be up for some roadblocks along the way. And yeah, there's a project showcase in our docs as well. Have a look at that. If you do need some help, our main way of getting help is the Backyard Project Slack. That's where we live. I try and keep on top of the Discord, but I don't always pay attention to it. So bit.ly/Backyard Project Slack, you'll find us there as well. And I think that's it from me. Maybe, do you think we have 30 seconds for some questions, Rory, or we got someone else coming up?
I can see our second speaker already in the lobby. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure we're going to have time. But yeah, I'd just like to say on behalf of everybody, thank you so much. I thought the cow module was really cool, but I think you trumped it with the other images as well. So yeah, thank you very much for that. And to all the participants, I'd encourage you to reach out on all of the platforms which Ally is sharing on the screen here. And of course, the recording will be available as well for you to recap. So one last time, thank you to Ally. And yeah, we look forward to seeing what everybody builds with Lilypad.
Definitely. Perfect. Happy hacking. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.